Yeah, I've seen an even funnier one yesterday saying he wants to make me piss me pants. That one made me laugh because he done it into someone in his first ever fight, but that's our job, you know what I mean? We're in here to hurt each other, you know what I mean? We're not having a pillow fight, we're having a fight, and I know I'm gonna hurt him, and I know I am, so if he wants to try and hurt me, he can. That's what we're here for. That's the name of the game. He won't be physically the same after this fight. I will. I'll be exactly the same. I'm gonna put a beat down on him like he's never received, and I can promise you that. But it was just another fight to me. When a contract with a name on gets sent to me, I sign it. I don't turn down no fight. I step up and I fight the person whose name's on the contract. I thought I was going to fight Justin in October in Abu Dhabi, but I think he turned it down. And then now there's a belt on the line. He's taking the fight. So it's nice to actually fight someone that I thought I was going to fight a while back.
Scousers don't get knocked out. That's what Paddy Pimblett has been screaming from day one, and now he's about to put his entire career on the line to prove it. Because Justin Gaethje is coming for him, and this isn't just another fight. This is the moment that either validates everything Paddy's ever said or destroys his reputation forever. And here's what nobody's talking about: Paddy actually begged for this fight. While other fighters were ducking Gaethje, playing it safe, building their records on easy opponents, Paddy was literally demanding the most dangerous fight possible. That's either genius or complete insanity, and we're about to find out which one.
You have to be a doctor to know that if you have a brain, you can get shut off if I just shake it. And so I'll show him, if I could shake his head and make his brain touch his skull, he's going to go to sleep.
We've known each other for a long time, so on a personal level, Paddy's a great guy, and it's great to see good people doing good stuff. But from a UK MMA point of view, for such a small place.
Look, I've been watching Paddy since he first stepped into the UFC, and I've never seen him like this. The guy who used to show up soft, who'd balloon up between fights, who everyone said was just hype. That version is gone, dead and buried. What we're seeing now is a completely different animal. He's lean, he's focused, and there's something in his eyes that wasn't there before. This isn't the same fighter who was coasting on Liverpool charm and social media buzz. This is someone who knows his back is against the wall and has decided to come out swinging. And get this, he's been planning this fight for over a year. While everyone thought he was just riding the hype train, he was methodically setting up the biggest test of his life.
It's absolutely unbelievable. It's a dangerous fight for Paddy, but I think it's winnable. It's definitely winnable, and I think Paddy's gone.
Normally this stage here, I've got a lot of nice puppy fat on me and I'm not as cold at the minute. I'm absolutely freezing constantly. Low on calories compared to normally at this time of year. Big Tommy, heavyweight champion UFC, is coming to see us today. We popped down to his gym a few months ago, didn't we?
But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Tom Aspinall, the heavyweight champion of the world, walked into Paddy's gym during his weight cut. And this wasn't some publicity stunt or casual visit. Champions don't just drop by unless something serious is happening. What I saw in that footage was telling. Paddy's in the middle of one of the most brutal weight cuts of his career, the kind that breaks fighters mentally, and he's still locked in, still working, still pushing. Aspinall wouldn't waste his time on someone who wasn't ready. The fact that he showed up, that he's backing Paddy publicly, that tells you everything about where this fight really stands. Because champions recognize other champions, even before they win the belt.
Coming up, we won't be going for no scran today. I'm strict on diet, lad, hard on diet. And I don't think he can train because of his eye, lad. We'll have to see what his eye's like, lad. I'm fucking intrigued, especially after everyone giving him so much shit. Obviously, he's got a bad injury in his eye. It just shows how fickle the MMA fan base is.
Beautiful, Jim.
Old, but he's not washed. Like, he's 37, but he's not moving like Michael Chandler. He's not holding the ball on the shoulder, doing the fucking PG-13 fucking washed animation. He's not washed. He's not washed, bro. You know what I mean? He has not shown this crazy drop-off in his skill set. He's 4-1 in his last 5. If we're talking about the guys that he's fought, he has great striking, obviously better than Paddy Pimblett in the boxing. Very powerful calf kicks. I think those are going to come into play in this matchup. He's got big power in the hands. He's improved his boxing fundamentals and his footwork under Trevor Whitman. His defense has gotten a little bit better. And I would say in terms of him and Paddy, he's probably equal or more powerful on the feet in terms of punch power. He does have, so like the weakness is the grappling, right? But we have seen him show a decent ability to be taken down and push off the initial takedown and get back up against guys like Michael Chandler.
And listen to this part. The conversation between Paddy and Tom wasn't the usual fighter nonsense about being unstoppable. It was real. Raw. They talked about how brutal this sport really is, how one injury, one bad night, one split decision can turn your biggest fans into your harshest critics overnight. Tom looked Paddy dead in the eye and said something that should terrify and inspire him at the same time. This fight with Geith isn't easy, but it's winnable. That's not coach speak. That's champion-level analysis from someone who's been there. And here's the kicker, Tom knows that the dangerous fights, the ones that could end your career, those are the exact fights that make legends. Safe fights are forgotten. Wars are remembered forever.
Last time I seen you, lad, fucking now. Funniest when I come to your gym, lad. When I come to yours, I've been out the night before.
Now here's something way bigger that's happening behind the scenes. This isn't just about Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Geith anymore. The entire UK MMA scene is watching this fight like their lives depend on it. Think about it, you've got multiple British champions right now, something that was unthinkable just a few years ago. But here's the problem. If Paddy gets knocked out cold by Geith, it doesn't just hurt him. It sets back every UK fighter trying to prove they belong at the top. The pressure is insane. Paddy knows that he's not just representing himself, he's carrying the hopes of an entire generation of British fighters who are tired of being seen as tough but limited. And you know what's crazy? He wants that pressure. He's been chasing this moment, calling out the UFC when previous Geith fights fell through, refusing to take easier matchups. This transparency about how hard he fought to make this happen proves one thing: nothing about this opportunity was guaranteed.
About 4 in the morning.
You know that mural after we spoke about it?
Yeah.
Literally was a massive outcry in the town. Gotta get it down.
Take it down. Still going though, it's going strong, isn't it? It's been a bit of a long process because with eyes, like with other injuries, they just fix them straight away. With eyes, they try and let them, because it's obviously risky, try and let them heal naturally. So we're getting surgery on this eye, keeping me out for a little bit. Not sure how long just yet though, so got a meeting about it soon. So it's just been a slow process, been a nightmare to be honest. Mate, 3 times they did it in 1 round.
But wait, it gets worse. Because everyone keeps bringing up Arman Tsarukyan and Paddy is absolutely sick of it. Here's where Paddy's getting real about the politics of this division. While he's out here accepting the most dangerous fights possible, calling out legends, putting his reputation on the line, other top contenders are playing it safe. Cherry-picking opponents, building records on favorable matchups, and Paddy's calling them out for it. His argument about Arman is fascinating. He's basically saying that having wrestling credentials on paper doesn't mean you can handle real chaos. That controlling someone in practice isn't the same as surviving a scramble when everything's falling apart and your opponent is trying to rip your head off. Paddy sees chaos as his home field advantage. The messier it gets, the more comfortable he becomes. And that mindset might be exactly what separates him from fighters who rely purely on technique.
Why is it? That's fair though, isn't it? First one's an accident, second one, you're doing it on purpose, aren't you?
I train with little gloves on anyway, as you've just seen. I don't stand.
Here's what the experts are saying, and it's getting interesting. The smart money says Paddy's in serious trouble if this fight stays standing. Geith's leg kicks are vicious, his forward pressure is relentless, and his power is legendary. Every analyst worth listening to acknowledges that Paddy could get hurt badly on the feet. And this is crucial, nobody's counting him out completely, because the moment this fight hits the ground, everything changes. Geith has shown vulnerabilities in scrambles before, moments where his wrestling background couldn't save him from submission artists. Tim Welch broke down the technical aspects beautifully, showing how Geith's preferred striking patterns might actually play into some of Paddy's strengths. But even with all the tactical analysis, it keeps coming back to one simple question. Can Paddy force the grappling exchanges he needs to win?
Other for a long time, so on a personal level, Paddy's a great guy, and it's great to see like good people doing good stuff. But from like a UK MMA point of view, like for such a small place, can have 4 champions. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's a dangerous fight for Paddy, but I think it's winnable. It's definitely winnable, and I think.
Hold up, did you catch what the real issue is here? It's not just about getting takedowns. It's about getting them against someone as disciplined and experienced as Justin Geith. This isn't some prospect or mid-level fighter. This is a guy who's been in wars with the absolute best in the world. If Paddy can drag him down and keep him there, his submission game is lethal enough to end the fight instantly. But if he can't, if he's forced to stand and trade for 15 or 25 minutes, every second becomes a potential disaster. Geith's highlight reel is built on putting people to sleep, and he only needs one clean shot to prove that Scousers absolutely can get knocked out. The margin for error is basically non-existent.
Because his family have got money and he's been had everything handed to a plate on him for years. Oh, it'll just happen in the UFC. Imagine being told that he fucking pulled out that Islam fight with a bad back, when really he just couldn't make weight. He got offered to fight Gamrot and said no, and then took them up.
Now listen to this part because it's crucial. Justin Gaethje isn't the same fighter who used to throw caution to the wind in every exchange. Under Trevor Whitman's guidance, he's become patient, calculated, technical. The wild brawler who made his name in bloody wars has evolved into something much more dangerous, a strategic killer who picks his spots. Carlo Rountree and other analysts have been emphasizing this transformation, and it's terrifying for anyone facing him. This isn't the Gaethje who might get caught up in a firefight and make mistakes. This is a refined, disciplined version who's learned to use his power as a scalpel instead of a sledgehammer. For a fighter like Paddy, who might try to rush in and force exchanges, this evolution represents a completely different level of problem.
Really guillotined him. It just shows how bad Armin's grappling is to me.
Oh yeah, he did.
I was watching that thinking, wow, if I get you in a guillotine, you are going unconscious. And he headbutted him at the weigh-in. If he would have cut him there on his forehead, lad, he was getting cut defo. Why would you headbutt someone at the weigh-in, lad?
I do think his grappling's good though, Armin.
His grappling is good, he's got good wrestling. But that's his main thing, is wrestling. And he wouldn't be able to hold me.
But here's the kicker that everyone's missing. Demetrius Johnson, one of the greatest fighters of all time, keeps pointing out how much Paddy's being underestimated. And DJ doesn't say stuff like that lightly. He's focusing on something specific, Paddy's ability to turn cage pressure into submissions. This isn't just about being good on the ground. It's about using the octagon itself as a weapon, trapping opponents against the fence, and capitalizing on the smallest openings with lightning speed. Johnson keeps emphasizing how quickly one scramble can change everything. How a fight that looks completely lost can become a submission victory in seconds. That's not hype. That's championship-level analysis from someone who built a career on seeing things other people missed.
The way for Justin Gaethje to win is going to be his left hook, his cracking left hook, the way obviously Paddy Pimblett floats his chin a little bit. So let's take a peek here, see if anything sticks out. This is Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett, and this went down April 12th of 2025. And Paddy finally looks like a real lightweight. He looks stacked. He's got big legs, he's got big calves. He's obviously a great grappler. So let's see here. See if he makes some mistakes. Michael Chandler's pretty short. He's not a giant guy. He seems pretty small for 155, but dense and explosive. Okay, here we go. 349 round one. Michael Chandler starts putting the pressure on him, getting back to the fence. He whiffs on a kick, and gets taken down here. Let's take a peek at that again. He goes low kick, and Michael Chandler goes to catch it, swings through, gets an easy finish behind his back. Big mat return by Michael Chandler, explosive.
And get this, Michael Bisping, who knows exactly what it takes to win at the highest level, framed this entire fight as a battle of mistakes. He studied Gaethje's losses, and here's what he found. They usually come from small errors, often late in fights, frequently leading to submissions. That's exactly where Paddy's patient, scramble-heavy style becomes most dangerous. In a 5-round war, when exhaustion sets in, when technique starts to break down, that's when Paddy historically finds his openings. Bisping's basically saying that this fight comes down to timing and who makes the first critical mistake. Gaethje brings the experience, the power, and the pressure. Paddy brings the chaos, the confidence, and the willingness to drag this fight into the most uncomfortable territory possible.
Look similar to this if it hits the mat. Paddy's going to have a big jiu-jitsu advantage. I know at their gym they do a lot of jiu-jitsu. He's very sharp on the ground. And again, when you're a wrestler and you get put on your back and you're not used to getting put on your back, your only way up is give up the back.
So here's where we stand. Two fighters, two completely different paths to victory, and absolutely zero room for error. Gaethje needs to keep it standing, use his technical improvements, and land the shot that proves Scousers can get knocked out. Paddy needs to survive the early storm, find his grappling opportunities, and show that all his trash talk was backed up by genuine skill. This isn't just about who wins or loses. This is about validation, legacy, and whether Paddy Pimblett is the real deal or just another hype job about to get exposed. The entire MMA world is watching. The UK scene is holding its breath. and both men know that their careers will never be the same after this fight. So here's my question for you, drop it in the comments. Do you think Paddy's confidence is justified, or is he about to learn a brutal lesson from one of the most dangerous strikers in the division? If this breakdown helped you understand what's really at stake, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because this fight is going to be absolute chaos and you won't want to miss my reaction. I'll see you in the next one.
Oh man, you know the thing, I think Paddy is it's so weird because he's been around for a long time and he's still slept on for some reason. Like, people still kind of doubt him.
But wait, there's something even deeper happening here that nobody's talking about, and it's psychological warfare at the highest level. Paddy's been studying Geeth's interviews, his body language, his preparation footage, and he's noticed something crucial. For the first time in years, Justin Geeth looks concerned. Not scared, not intimidated, but genuinely concerned about what Paddy might bring to this fight. And that's massive. Because Geeth has faced killers, legends, absolute monsters in this division, and he's never shown this level of analytical preparation for an opponent. He's not dismissing Paddy as hype anymore. He's treating him like a legitimate threat, which means Paddy's already won the first battle.
I don't know, the look, whatever, but he's skilled, and every time he comes in and he shows progression. I think with Gaethje, people know that he's a banger, he's got heart. But I think another thing that people kind of sleep on too is how technical Gaethje is, especially you know, working with his coach. Like, those guys are.
Here's what's really wild about Paddy's preparation. He's been sparring with heavyweights, not just training with them, but specifically asking them to pressure him, to simulate Geeth's forward movement and power. His coaches revealed that he's been taking shots from guys who hit harder than anyone in the lightweight division, just to prepare for Geeth's impact. That's not normal preparation. That's someone who understands exactly what's coming and refuses to be surprised by it. Most fighters would try to avoid getting hit hard in training camps. Paddy's literally seeking it out, conditioning himself to function under the exact type of pressure Geeth brings. The mental toughness that requires is off the charts.
Probably excels more than Justin Gaethje is his dynamic. Like, if you push him into the cage, he's gonna do a flying triangle, right? We've seen Justin Gaethje get put to sleep by Habib. With that, I think the biggest thing is that if Justin Gaethje goes out there and pops that jab, like he always says, that pops that jab and throws a leg kick, then Paddy Pimblett is gonna have to make a decision. Is he gonna go in there and shoot a takedown, or is he gonna go in there and try to strike with him? I'm gonna go with Paddy on this one. I feel like Paddy's gonna get the submission. I think Paddy's gonna be able to submit him. But I could see Justin Gaethje, because Paddy Pimblett gets hit.
And here's where it gets absolutely insane. Paddy's been working with a sports psychologist specifically on managing chaos. Not controlling it, managing it. There's a massive difference. He's been training his mind to stay calm when everything goes wrong, when he's hurt, when the crowd is screaming, when his original game plan falls apart. Because here's what he understands that most fighters don't. The moment you try to control chaos, you lose. But if you can surf it, ride it, use it as energy instead of fighting against it, that's where magic happens. This psychological preparation might be more important than any physical training he's done.
Gordon, he got hit a lot. So he could take a shot, but can he take a shot from Justin Gaethje? Now, Justin Gaethje's been in the game for a long time, been knocked out, been submitted. So we'll have to see, you know, where the fight goes. But if I had to make a pick, I like Pimblett in this one, Paddy Pimblett.
There's something I want to add to that.
But let's talk about something nobody wants to address, the elephant in the room. What happens if Paddy actually wins this fight? Not just wins, but dominates, finishes Geeth, because the lightweight division would be turned completely upside down overnight. Every ranking, every title shot conversation, every analysis about who belongs at the top would need to be rewritten. Paddy would go from prospect to legitimate title contender in one night. The UFC would have to completely restructure their lightweight marketing around him. And here's the kicker, he'd probably deserve it. Because beating Justin Geeth isn't just another win. It's a statement that changes everything.
Lightweight title of the world, Ilia Topuria has stepped away. Justin Gaethje's back in his third title fight. It's his second interim title fight, but it's his final fight if he doesn't win. Justin Gaethje said if he loses to Paddy Pimblett, he's going to walk away.
One more knockout. I went to sleep. Before that, I'd never been put to sleep. If I would get put to sleep again, I would definitely call it quits.
Justin Gaethje has had an incredible career. Of course, he's been the interim champion before, never the undisputed. He lost to Khabib. He lost to Charles Oliveira, but he has electrified and thrilled audiences all over the world. 26 wins, 5 losses. 26 wins, 20 by way of knockout. And he's knocked out some legends. People like Dustin Poirier. Fight of the nights with Dustin Poirier. Fight of the nights with Michael Chandler. And stopped Tony Ferguson in a one-sided savage beatdown, okay? And that was one of the last times we saw Tony Ferguson being a real threat inside the octagon, because Justin Gaethje just beat it out of him with accuracy, with power in his hands. He's got head kicks, he's got wild hooks, he's got beautiful uppercuts, he's got incredible wrestling, but he never uses it. And in this fight against Paddy Pimblett, he doesn't need to use it. He would be a fool to use it. You don't want to shoot in on Paddy.
Think about the ripple effects for a second. If Paddy beats Gaethje, suddenly every other top lightweight has to take him seriously. Islam Makhachev would have to acknowledge him as a real threat. Charles Oliveira would need to consider him title shot worthy. The entire landscape shifts because Gaethje represents that bridge between prospect and elite. He's the gatekeeper to greatness, and nobody passes through that gate without earning it the hardest way possible. Paddy's been calling this his breakout moment for months, but even he might not fully understand how dramatically one performance could change his entire career trajectory.
This matchup for Paddy Pimblett, but I also think it's one he can win. I think over 5 rounds, Justin Gaethje might make a mistake. He does have more experience, but he has maybe slowed down a bit. The fact that he says that this is going to be his last fight if he loses, that's never good to hear. I'm not saying that he's got one foot out the door, and I'm not saying that he's not motivated, because anytime you say, I'm not fighting again after this one if I lose, well then you make sure that you go the extra mile and leave no stone unturned, and you leave no excuses. You push yourself in training camp. So I think it's going to be the best version of Justin Gaethje, and that makes it even more dangerous for Paddy Pimblett. I do think, though, that over 5 rounds, given how dynamic Paddy Pimblett is, given how disciplined he is, given that scouts...
Now here's something fascinating that's been flying under the radar. Paddy's training footage shows him working extensively on defensive wrestling, but not traditional defensive wrestling. He's been practicing what I call offensive defense, using takedown attempts against him as opportunities to create scrambles and submission attempts. Instead of just trying to stuff takedowns or get back to his feet, he's looking to turn every grappling exchange into an attack. That's next-level thinking. Most fighters see defense as preventing what their opponent wants to do. Paddy's approaching it as redirecting his opponent's energy into dangerous territory for them.
Paddy, but like the thing with Justin Gaethje that's making me like, bro, I cannot pick Paddy to win this fight. This dude, he's not Khabib, bro. He's not Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway. These are the guys that have beat Justin Gaethje. I don't think he is as quick or as sharp or as accurate or as powerful on the feet as Charles Oliveira or Max Holloway. I think he might have more straight up like punch power, but he's not on their level in terms of striking skill, speed, or defense either. Let me just say that, right? And as for his grappling, his jiu-jitsu is insane, but he doesn't have the wrestling of Khabib. He doesn't have the wrestling of a Charles Oliveira unless he hurts you, right? And I think his defense on the feet is so suspicious, bro. Like, just so cool. I'm just remembering the Jared Gordon fight, thinking about that shit. He keeps his hands low in exchanges. He's open to being countered in the boxing exchanges. And Justin Gaethje, this is one thing I said at the gym, and the boys didn't really get what I meant, but like, I think you guys understand. Gaethje's old, but he's not.
But here's where Gaethje's team has been preparing for exactly that strategy. Trevor Whitman has been studying every single one of Paddy's submissions, breaking down the setups, the timing, the specific positions where he's most dangerous. They've been drilling escapes from every submission Paddy's ever hit, practicing defensive positioning in scrambles, working on maintaining distance even when the fight goes to the ground. Gaethje's not walking into this blind. His preparation has been just as obsessive, just as detailed. The question becomes whether preparation can overcome instinct when the chaos starts and both men are operating on pure fight IQ. And speaking of fight IQ, let's examine something crucial that separates both these fighters from the pack. They both thrive in moments where technique breaks down and raw fighting ability takes over. Gaethje's best performances often come when fights get messy, when the technical game plan goes out the window, and it becomes about who wants it more. Paddy's entire style is built around creating those exact moments, forcing fights into uncomfortable territory where anything can happen. This might be the rare fight where both men are most comfortable in the same chaotic space, which means we could see something absolutely special. Here's what's really interesting about the betting lines and expert predictions. Almost everyone acknowledges that Paddy has multiple paths to victory, but they're still favoring Geith significantly. That disconnect tells you everything about how this fight is being perceived. On paper, in a traditional analysis, Geith should win. But fights aren't won on paper, and both men know that the X factor in this fight isn't technical skill or physical attributes. It's who can impose their will when everything gets crazy. And that's where Paddy's been living his entire career. But let's get real about something else that's been bothering me. The criticism of Paddy's previous competition is starting to look ridiculous in hindsight. Everyone said he was fighting nobodies, building his record on easy fights. But go back and watch those performances. He wasn't just winning, he was finishing guys in spectacular fashion. He was showing submission skills that work at any level, scrambling ability that translates against anyone, and mental toughness that you can't fake. The level of opposition might have been lower, but the skills he was displaying were legitimate. And now we get to see if those skills scale up against elite competition. Here's something that just clicked for me while rewatching Paddy's recent interviews. His confidence isn't blind arrogance anymore. It's informed confidence. He's done the homework, studied the footage, identified specific weaknesses in Geith's game, and built a game plan around exploiting them. When he talks about finishing Geith, he's not just talking trash. He's describing specific scenarios he's visualized and prepared for. That evolution from hype-driven confidence to analytical confidence might be the most important development in his entire career. Because belief based on preparation is infinitely more dangerous than belief based on hope. And here's the final piece that makes this fight absolutely unmissable. Both men have everything to lose and everything to gain. Geith needs this win to stay relevant in title conversations and prove he's still elite. Paddy needs it to validate every bold prediction he's made about his future. There's no middle ground here, no moral victories, no good learning experience outcomes. One man's career trajectory goes up dramatically, the other's goes down just as hard. That level of stakes creates a different type of fight, where both men will dig deeper than they've ever had to before. And when that happens, when two elite fighters are pushed to their absolute limits, that's when we see something legendary. So here's what I really think is going to happen, and this might surprise you. I think we're going to see both men's best performances. Geith is going to bring technical striking and pressure we've never seen from him before. Paddy's going to show grappling and mental toughness that proves every believer right. This won't be one-sided either way. It's going to be a war that could go either direction until the moment it ends. And regardless of who wins, both men will have proven something important about themselves and the future of this division. The only guarantee is that after this fight, nothing in the lightweight division will ever be the same.